Alright, today we're doing MH Corbin Tech Talk and a SolarMax Highway Advisory Radio trailer. So you'll notice behind me we have an orange trailer, and its purpose is to give you the ability to have a portable radio station on wheels. Basically, you can pull this out to your job site if you're doing construction or road closure or just important events such as like a July 4th or a Christmas celebration. You can have this out and broadcast messages over the air on the AM radio frequency. So a few things I want to go over here. This is the trailer configuration. It's easy to tow behind a vehicle. It has a 2-inch ball on the front here. It has a jack that you can put down and move around with the wheel to position it where you want. It also has 4 jacks on each corner for stabilization. You can actually raise the jacks up high enough to take the wheels off if you're going to have it stored somewhere for a long period of time. At the top of the trailer, you'll notice this has solar panels. There are 4 solar panels on here. The solar panels actually charge a battery pack. This is the battery box here. Inside the battery box, you'll see 4 of the glass mat style batteries. The system charges up from solar. Everything runs on 12 volts, so it has a solar regulator in here which takes the voltage from the solar panels, charges the batteries, and it keeps a float charge on them so they're fully topped off at all times. You'll notice in here as well, we have fuse protection for all the power sources that we're using from this. There's also a compass in here, and the compass basically, they've always told us that for solar panels it's best to face the trailer south to get the most sunlight. That was really important on our old design where the solar panels were fixed, like this one over here. This new design, the panels are flat, so it really doesn't matter which direction you face it. We still recommend facing the trailer toward the south, with the back toward the south, to get the most sunlight that you can. But what we've also done here, if you'll notice, there's a little clip right here. We can pull this clip off, we can crank the handle, and it actually will tilt the solar panels down. And what that does, if you're in an area where it's a lot of snow and ice accumulation, with these tilted, it'll keep the snow from accumulating on top of the panels, so it actually helps it run off the back. Next thing to look at here is we have our electronic cabinet in the back. Inside the electronics, this is our Black Max series of electronics. We have a recorder player and a transmitter in this model. This is an older style recorder player. This is called the DR1500. It's an analog recorder player we built for many years. That's since been replaced by what we call the CAM1, which is a digital communication controller. But for this application, for a rental type of application like this unit's perfectly fine. You can actually use the handset here and record a message here at the trailer, and it broadcasts over the air. Now I want to show you what we've got going here. This is on 1670 AM. You'll notice it's actually powered up and transmitting, and it has modulation, which means there's a message playing. Over on the side here, this is actually how you tune the antenna. So you'll notice on VSWR, which stands for voltage standing wave ratio, this actually needs to be the lowest you can get it. So right now we're looking about 1.2 VSWR, which is really good. We can slide this to forward, and then we read the forward wattage power. So what we do is we read the lights that are on solid. So right now we're about 12.5 watts on solid, and the VSWR is 1.2. So this thing's tuned and working really well. As the voltage actually goes down, the wattage will go down. So you'll notice at nighttime that wattage may only be about 9-10 watts of power. During the daytime with more voltage, it can increase the wattage just a little bit. Other than that, there's a surge protector in here for the transmitter in case there's any kind of lightning surge or anything. There's also grounding reels. They're called static ground reels. And what happens, you pull these out and you follow this along. There are clamps going to a copper ground rod. So there's 3 of these rods for every trailer because there's 3 static ground reels. You put those out in a configuration to get the most grounding that you can. You hook the clamps to it here, just like this, and it grounds the trailer so you can tune your antenna. The way AM radio works for amplitude modulation, you need a very good ground system to have your antenna tuned. So that's our antenna. It works well off of grounding. By our tuning at 1.2, it means we have a good sufficient ground for this thing to work. Moving along, I think I talked about the wheels. They're 15-inch wheels that come on the trailer. We have the supporting jacks. we have an antenna mount for transport. Basically that antenna will lay down into this mount for transport. And this is the tube that you can put your ground rods in when you're done. You slide those in here, and the actual top of the antenna, the coil, the white part, will unbolt from the bottom of the tube here, and you take that coil and you slide it in here for transport. That way you don't have it too long where you have any hazards when you're driving down the highway. You'll notice the difference in this trailer from our older trailers. This trailer chassis is a little different. We designed this one to have an adjustable mast. So if you look at the trailer, this looks like a camera trailer design from years ago. This actually has a mount on it for the antenna, and you can crank this handle and the mast actually will go up. So what that allows you to do is actually get a little bit more range out of the system by having the antenna higher off the ground. So there's a few of the improvements we've done to the SolarMax trailer over the years. This unit's been out for about 5 years now. I don't think we've had a lot of videos about it. This is a really old trailer, but just to give you an idea, this is how we made them from the 1990s. So this was a fixed platform with the solar panels at this angle, and we had the antennas mounted on it on the side. It had the same kind of wheels and tires. I think those were 14-inch wheels on this car, on this trailer. And then the electronics were in the back, and the battery pack was in the middle. Now the front one was the toolbox. We don't necessarily use a toolbox anymore. There's only a couple tools you need to set this antenna up. You need an Allen wrench, and you need an adjustable wrench. So what I'll do is I'll pull a tool bag together, put the parts in it, and we actually put those inside the battery compartment here and strap them down. So if you ever have to go out on the road and do an installation, everything's self-contained in a really nice manner. Other than that, options for this are a cellular modem, which we can mount on the unit for remote control. We have a weather radio we can add on this, a NOAA weather radio rebroadcast. And from there, it can be configured how you like. If you don't like the orange color, if you want a different color, we can have them paint a different color for you. Overall, the system works very well. It's designed to broadcast at low power, 10 watts of power for FCC regulation, and it's solar powered, so it's self-contained. So there's no external power needed. Let's say you get somewhere and it's in a shady area, or it's been stored inside of a barn or a facility for a while and it hasn't charged the batteries. We actually give you a way to hook this up to AC power right here. There's a panel right there, and you can plug this into your 110 volt outlet with an extension cord, and it'll charge the batteries up. So if this thing's going to be stored inside for long periods of time, we recommend you hook it up and it'll stay float charged while it's in storage. If you have any questions on this, just feel free to give us a call. We'll be happy to help you understand what the SolarMax radio system's about and how it can fit your application. Again, our number is 1-800-380-1718, or you can find us at mhcorbin.com.